The silent Earth. The Council ship drifted in high orbit above Earth, its polished silver hull reflecting the sunlight. Alien observers gathered near the viewing glass, their eyes glowing faintly as they studied the blue planet below. Passive, one of them muttered. The word carried both boredom and contempt. To their eyes, Earth was nothing more than a quiet world, rich in oceans and forests, but empty of real military power. Another officer nodded, checking the readouts on his console. No orbital platforms detected, no active fleets. Their transmissions suggest a species more concerned with music, trade, and exploration than war. The commander leaned back in his chair, his long fingers tapping against the armrest. A world ripe for guidance, he said softly. Guidance was their polite word. For domination far below, the cities of Earth bustled with ordinary life. Children went to schools, workers filled their offices, markets opened, trains rushed across railways. From above it looked peaceful, almost naive, yet in a quiet observatory on the edge of the mountains, a man named Daniel stared at his console with narrowed eyes. He was no soldier, no politician, just a researcher. But he saw something in the sky that bothered him, a faint echo in the radio spectrum, a signal that should not have been there. He tried to trace it, but the line vanished as though it had been swallowed. He rubbed his temples and whispered to himself, "Not natural." In the Council ship, the aliens continued their reports. They had observed many worlds before. Some savage, some cautious, some foolishly brave, but Earth seemed simple. Too simple. They sing, they laugh, they argue, they build machines for comfort, not for conquest. One alien mocked. Look at their space stations, tiny shells drifting in orbit, fragile as bird nests. But their sensors, for all their power, could not pierce certain layers of the atmosphere. Strange interference rippled through the data. Their engineers dismissed it as natural magnetic storms. Daniel noticed it again the next night. Another echo, a faint shadow across his instruments. He recorded it, but when he brought it to his superior, the man only chuckled. Equipment glitch, he said. Focus on your research, Daniel. Meanwhile, on the Council ship, the commander prepared his speech for the High Assembly. Earth shows no resistance, he said proudly. They will bend, they will kneel. We will bring them under our order without bloodshed. To them, Earth was already theirs. But on the ground, whispers passed between a few quiet figures in hidden rooms. The kind of rooms without windows. The kind of meetings never recorded. They are watching, one voice said. Let them think we are weak. Daniel sat alone in his observatory, staring at the night sky. He could not shake the feeling. It was not fear, it was something else. As though the planet itself held its breath. Waiting, on the alien ship, laughter echoed across the chamber. Passive Earth, they said again. Nothing but a quiet garden. But the garden had roots, deep and tangled, hidden beneath the soil. Daniel raised his head, whispering to the stars. Something is moving out there. In that moment, Earth remained silent, its people living, working, dreaming. The aliens convinced themselves they had found another submissive world. And yet behind the calm surface, humanity was waiting for the right moment to show its true face. The commander closed his report with a confident smile. No threat detected, he repeated. His officers bowed, their glowing eyes filled. With pride below them, the ocean shimmered, the forest swayed in the wind. The cities pulsed with life. The aliens saw only peace. But peace is not the same as weakness, and Earth had been underestimated for the last time. The first miscalculation, the Council chamber aboard the alien ship glowed with soft blue light. Tall figures sat in a circle, their robes flowing like liquid, metal. The commander stood in the center, presenting his findings. Earth is passive, he declared. No war fleets, no planetary defense systems, no record of aggressive expansion. His voice carried certainty, the kind born from overconfidence. One elder tilted his head. And their communication? The commander gestured toward a projection. Recordings of human broadcasts appeared in the air. Voices speaking about trade, about science, about sending tiny crafts to other planets. Children laughing in schools. Songs played over radios. They speak of peace, they celebrate art. They lack the discipline of soldiers, the commander explained. A species of dreamers, not fighters. A ripple of quiet laughter passed among the council. Meanwhile, far below, Earth's leaders sat in their own meeting, not in glowing chambers but in a plain room. A wooden table, papers stacked high, and tired eyes studying the situation. "They think we are weak," one of them whispered. "They think we are afraid?" An older woman leaned forward, her hands folded. "Then let them think it," she said. "Let them watch our plays, our songs, our quiet cities. Let them see only what we wish them to see." In orbit, the aliens prepared. Their envoy, a sleek vessel shaped like a crescent, it glided down through the clouds, leaving a trail of fire. Their intention was not to destroy, not yet. Their goal was to intimidate. The craft landed near the capital, its hull shimmering as it cooled. Citizens gathered, staring in awe. Cameras flashed. News anchors spoke with trembling voices. From the ship descended 3 alien figures, tall, graceful, their eyes glowing like embers. They walked with the calm arrogance of conquerors. The crowd held its breath. One alien raised his hand, his voice translated through a device. "People of Earth, you are fortunate. The Council has chosen you. Your world will be guided, protected, absorbed into the Great Order. Do not resist. You will lose nothing, except your pride." Silence followed. The words hung heavy in the air. Then a man stepped forward. Not a soldier, not a general, but a simple diplomat, his suit plain, his hair touched with gray. He bowed his head slightly. "We thank you for your concern," he said calmly. "Earth has always welcomed dialogue." The alien smiled, mistaking the politeness for submission. "Good," the envoy replied. "Your cooperation will make this transition painless." But the diplomat's eyes were steady, his words chosen carefully. "We do not resist peace," he said. "But peace must be respected, not demanded." The envoy tilted his head, sensing something strange in the tone, a quiet confidence that did not fit the picture of weakness they had painted on the council ship. The commander received the first report of the meeting. His lips curled into a smirk. "They speak softly, they bow their heads. It is as we expected," he said. Yet the younger officer at his side frowned, scrolling through the transmission. "Commander, they're diplomats." Words. "They do not sound afraid?" "Nonsense," the commander replied. "All primitive worlds cling to dignity before they kneel." But outside, above the clouds, small ripples shimmered against the stars, faint disturbances too subtle for most. Sensors. The alien crew dismissed them as atmospheric glitches on the ground. The crowd dispersed slowly, whispers running through the people. "They think we are weak," some muttered. "They think we will bow." The diplomat returned to his office, his heart pounding though his face had remained calm. He opened a locked drawer and pulled out a small device. Pressing a single button, a coded signal pulsed into the dark sky. In his observatory, Daniel sat awake again, staring at the strange echoes on his instruments. This time the anomaly did not vanish. It grew, stretching like shadows across his screens. He leaned closer, his breath caught. "This is not a glitch," he whispered. "This is something hidden, in orbit." The aliens prepared to return their envoy, their laughter filling the chamber. "Passive Earth," they repeated. "A soft world, a harmless world." But far below the oceans, in the silence of the deep, metal giants stirred, their hulls dark, their lights dimmed, waiting in the high mountains, inside bunkers carved from stone. Engines hummed quietly, weapons locked in place in orbit's shadow. Faint outlines shimmered before fading again, like predators cloaked in the tall grass. The aliens did not see it, or perhaps they chose not to. They believed Earth was passive. They believed Earth would kneel. But Earth was only watching, only waiting. And every moment the aliens underestimated humanity. The circle tightened. The diplomat closed his eyes that night, hearing the echo of his own words. Peace must be respected, not demanded. The aliens thought they had secured victory, but it was their first miscalculation. Shadows behind the clouds, the alien fleet drifted lazily in orbit, their ships gleaming like polished stone. Officers moved with casual ease. Reports were short and filled with certainty. Earth shows no resistance, the commander repeated again and again. His words like a shield against doubt, but doubt still lingered, especially in the mind of a young officer named Levon. His eyes scanned the long-range sensors, and there he saw it again. Tiny distortions, like ripples across the black sea of space. "Commander," Levon began carefully. "The scanners show irregular interference near the upper orbit. Not natural storms, not radiation, something patterned." The commander waved his hand dismissively. "Earth's magnetosphere is unstable, we knew this." Levon hesitated. "But the patterns are too precise, almost deliberate." "Enough," the commander snapped. "You are letting your imagination fool you. Earth is not capable of such tricks." The chamber fell silent, but Levon kept watching the screens. On the planet below, Daniel leaned over his console, sweat on his forehead. The signals grew stronger every night. His old equipment trembled as it tried to map them. Faint lines weaving across the sky. "Cloaking fields," he whispered to himself. Though he barely understood the technology, the shapes hid in plain sight, only visible to a patient eye. In the capital, the diplomat met again with the alien envoys. This time their tone was sharper. "Your people must declare allegiance," the envoy demanded. "The council grows impatient." The diplomat smiled politely, his voice calm. "We value your guidance, but Earth must decide carefully. Rushing may cause mistakes." The envoy's glowing eyes narrowed. "There is no decision. There is only acceptance." "Then perhaps," the diplomat said softly, "you should look closer before you judge." The envoy frowned. The meaning slipped past him like smoke. Back in orbit, Levon ran another scan. He adjusted the filters, tuned out the static. Suddenly the screen lit with faint blurs, dozens of them, then hundreds, scattered across the atmosphere. Moving too slowly for debris, too steady for storms. His chest tightened. "Commander, you must see this," he insisted, sending the data forward. The commander glanced once, then scoffed. "Phantoms, reflections of our own signals," he said. "You are young, Levon. Fear makes you see ghosts." But they were not ghosts. Far above, hidden in the veil of interference, massive silhouettes hung motionless, their outlines merging with clouds, their systems dark. Waiting deep beneath the oceans, pressure groaned against steel hulls. Ancient machines stirred, their lights flickered on for the first time in years. In the mountains, bunkers rumbled quietly, engines warming, weapons awakening like beasts from long slumber. Daniel wrote his findings into a notebook, page after page filled with lines and calculations. No one in authority would believe him, but he wrote anyway. "There are ships," he muttered. "I know there are ships on the alien flagship." Levin turned off the commander's voice in his headset. He stared only at the data, the patterns forming, a circle, tightening around the planet. His hands trembled. He whispered a thought no one else dared to say. What if Earth is not weak? What if they are hiding? The commander stood at the viewport, gazing down at the peaceful world. He smiled, confident. "Blind. By tomorrow, Earth will kneel," he said. But behind the clouds, the shadows were multiplying, each one waiting for the signal, and humanity, patient and silent, was about to show the galaxy what it had always feared. The encirclement, the alien. Commander stood at the wide viewport of the flagship, the blue planet below calm and beautiful. "Tomorrow," he said with pride, "this world will kneel." Levin's eyes, however, never left the sensors. He saw the patterns again, stronger now. The distortions were no longer faint. They pulsed in rhythm, as though answering some hidden signal. "Commander," Levin tried once more. "This is not noise, these shapes are real. Something is cloaked out there." The commander sighed, his patience thinning. "Always the same story, Levon. Fear clouds your judgment. Earth is weak. Their technology is centuries behind us. What could they possibly hide?" As he spoke, the diplomat on Earth gave his quiet speech before the envoy. "We do not seek war," he said, his voice calm and steady. "But we do not fear it either." The envoy laughed, bold words for a fragile people. But the diplomat only nodded as though waiting for something above the planet. The first ripple broke. Like a stone tossed into still water, Levon's screen flashed red, and there it was. One massive outline uncloaking, its hull black, bristling with cannons, drifting out of the cloud like a leviathan. Levon jumped to his feet, his voice trembling. Ship detected. Human origin. Massive tonnage. Before the commander could answer, another ripple tore across the sky. Then another, each wave peeling back the cloak. More ships appeared. Long spears of steel and fire, their angles sharp. Their armor scarred as if from old battles. The crew froze, their laughter gone. One officer gasped. Impossible. They had nothing. Within minutes, the orbit was alive with motion. One by one, warships emerged, circling the planet like wolves around prey. Their numbers grew until the alien sensors could no longer count them all. A fleet. Levon whispered. No, more than a fleet. An armada. The commander staggered back from the viewport, his mouth dry. He watched as the dark shapes locked into position, forming a perfect ring around Earth. On the surface, crowds looked up, mouths open. The night. Sky glittered not with stars but with lines of metal. Hidden guardians revealed at last. In the oceans, titans of steel rose slowly, breaking the waves, their decks lined with weapons that had not seen sunlight in decades. In the mountains, doors of bunkers slid open, missiles rising silently into the air, awaiting orders. The alien envoy shouted at the diplomat. What is this? What have you done? The diplomat's calm eyes reflected the fire trails above. We showed you only what you wished to see, he said. But Earth has never been passive. We only prefer silence until it is broken. On the flagship, chaos erupted. Officers scrambled. Across the deck, voices shouted, They have us surrounded, every angle covered, no way through. The commander slammed his hand on the console. Raise shields, prepare weapons. But his words were hollow because the humans had already taken the high ground. Every alien sensor showed the same image. Hundreds of warships locking onto them, cannons warming, missiles armed. Levon's heart raced. But deep inside, he felt something else. Respect, awe, fear twisted with admiration. They hid all of this right beneath our eyes, he whispered. The commander's arrogance cracked at last, sweat ran down his face. How did we not see it? And then came the message, a transmission from the human fleet. The voice was calm, firm, without anger. This is Earth Command, the voice said. You have violated our skies. You have insulted our people. We will not fire unless fired upon, but make no mistake. Earth is not weak and Earth will not kneel. The alien crew fell into silence, staring at the circle of steel and fire now shining above the blue planet. The trap had closed, and humanity had revealed its teeth. The revelation, the alien flagship trembled with unease. Silence weighed heavy over the command deck. Every officer stared at the screens, at the countless human warships glowing like steel phantoms in orbit. Levon whispered what no one else dared to say. We are surrounded. The commander clenched, his fists, his pride shattering. Impossible, impossible, he repeated as though the words might erase what his eyes showed him. A calm human voice continued through the transmission. For generations, you believed Earth was fragile, a garden without thorns. But you never looked deep enough. You never wondered why we were silent. The envoy on the ground trembled. His once proud tone now cracked. This is deception, a trick, the diplomat answered softly, his gaze steady. Deception? No, only patience. Earth never wished for war, but war found us long before you arrived. We learned to hide, to endure, to build in silence. Above, the alien sensors painted the terrifying truth. Hundreds of human ships forming a perfect circle. Around the planet, no gap, no weakness, each hull bristling with weapons unknown to the Council. Their technology. One officer gasped. It rivals ours. Perhaps surpasses. The commander's voice faltered. How did they hide? This from us? Levon answered quietly. Because we never thought to look. Another ripple passed across the sky. More human ships revealed. Some massive like floating fortresses, others sleek and sharp. Fast hunters waiting for the signal. The ring grew, tighter, unbreakable. The human voice returned, firm, unwavering. We will not fire unless fired upon. But hear this clearly. Earth bows to no empire, Earth kneels to no council. We are peaceful by choice, not by weakness. The words struck like thunder. The crew lowered their eyes, shame flooding the chamber. The surface citizens cheered as the warships appeared above. A sky once filled with stars now guarded by iron giants. The truth no longer hidden. Humanity had always been ready in the oceans. The great steel beasts stood tall, their lights gleaming through the waves. In the mountains, the bunkers roared as missiles locked into place. The alien envoy stared at the diplomat, his arrogance gone, replaced by fear. If you had such power, why hide it? The diplomat's voice was soft, almost sad. Because peace matters more than pride. We wanted the galaxy to come to us as friends, but if you arrive as masters, then you will leave as guests. On the flagship, Levon turned to the commander, his voice steady now. We must choose, Commander, attack and die, or accept the truth that Earth is not beneath us but equal. The commander's lips trembled. His pride battled his fear, but the circle of warships outside left no room for illusion. Send word to the council, he muttered finally, his voice hollow. Earth will not be taken. They must be recognized. Levon nodded slowly, his eyes still locked on the human fleet, a strange respect blooming in his chest. The final transmission echoed through every alien ship. Earth stands, Earth endures, and when underestimated, Earth encircles. The diplomat on the ground closed his eyes, the weight lifting at last, the sky above no longer held as mystery, but as a shield, and so the galaxy learned the truth. Earth was never passive, never weak, never naive. They had been silent only because silence was their strongest weapon. The council had mocked, the envoys had demanded, the commanders had laughed, but laughter died when the warships rose and the lesson was carved into the stars. Earth would not kneel, and Earth would never be underestimated again.